Everybody, welcome back. Northern Lion chess. The muscles are starting to come back, okay? The chess muscles are starting to come back. We're on the road to 1500, hopefully. I don't have a good response to D5, or to D4, I should say. It's one of the things that has been brought up as a consistent issue. Why am I playing so fast? We're playing the accelerated London system. I guess that explains it. You know, I definitely don't mind that. The queen here is not that valuable, in my world at least. Let me think about this. I'm moving too fast. I'm used to 5-minute chess. We're playing against Lucario. They're blocking the check there. But this, because of the pawn structure, like this little island right here, we have a really good place to put our knight and cause some problems. I feel like white is off book. I can't confirm nor deny, but I feel like that's the case. I also feel like, I mean, this knight is sort of hard to develop for them. And moreover, I mean, that's a decent spot, I'll admit. But I feel like our bishop, we can do exactly the same thing they did with their bishop. Like, I wouldn't mind developing my queen here. And then you would ask, who do you think is a better position? I would think if they take and we do the... Just weird. Let's put it that way. This is a just weird situation. I think I'm going to move my knight up. Just so, I mean, I would rather trade knight for bishop if possible. I think. It's just a little strange, is the thing. So I think they're probably going to castle queenside, which is why they don't mind this, because they want to open that up. But I don't think I care, quite honestly. Do we prefer the knight over the bishop? I think we do. So we take. They're going to cap. At which point you might be like, well, I mean, the kingside castle literally just gets you mated. So not a fantastic move, all things considered. This is one where you want to think about it. I want to push my c-pawn. I think one of the ways we could get this done is by a queen to e7 maneuver. Why do I like this? We threaten a queenside castle, which may or may not be worth something to you. And it may or may not be worth something to me, honestly. I feel like I actually like the queenside castle here. This is a thinking man's move. It's scary because we have initiative. It does allow us to do a push. I'm just trying to run it through. If I push, you take, I take, you take, I take. I kind of like. I don't know, though. Because it does open this up as well. That's the scary part, I guess. You know what? If you want to game, let's do some gaming. This is unusual. A queenside castle carries a lot of potential foibles. I don't understand that move. I feel like they're trying to put me under the clock further. Now I got to think about it. Okay, we do this. You take, I take. You can't take. Maybe. Let's do the push. We're threatening the fork here, so they have to respond. Now we got to decide, is the knight the right way to do it? I still got to think that it is. I'd rather have the bishop because the game's starting to open up a little bit. I don't think they'll take. I think it gives me too much power. Because I have a discovered attack anywhere I choose, basically. Now, this pawn is quite vulnerable. I wouldn't dispute that. Certainly creates a spicy situation here. We want to protect this pawn. We're taking too much time, I'll tell you that much. We need to be able to protect this is the problem. I mean, we could always push this, but it does open up our king side a little bit, which is why it used to be our queen side, but you get the idea. It's a fairly even game. I like that I have a bishop over their knight. I like, compared to their knight, I should say. I like my pawn structure a little bit more compared to theirs. Queen to f5 check. It's a great move. It's a great move I have no response to. I have left my bishop hung out to dry. You hate to see it. We're going to move our king. You might think like rook up, but then it just makes that knight move that much more powerful. So that's demoralizing. We got ourselves into the mix here. Hopefully we can get ourselves out. Louis Carl would like to chat, except they sent me 3 troll face emojis. To which I reply, le troll. Then they sent me a knight, a queen, and a bishop. You're not wrong. To which I will reply, hello. Okay. I think we should keep threatening the queen for now. Game's not over. We're definitely in a bad spot. But the game is not over. It's pretty not good. I also don't know where we go from here. Like, it's not a fantastic position for us to be in. Let's put it that way. I see that we have some threat on this. Moreover, actually, now that I think about it, I'm like, I think you're going to get a little cheeky. Because I know you're like, if you take this, oh, no, that's fine. We'd take with the queen instead of the pawn. I actually think we start here to protect this pawn, because this is a constant threat. We need to find a way to get in behind enemy lines. I think just by doing that, though, they can kind of force a trade if we want them to force a trade. Or if they want to force a trade. Yeah, this is like, it's actually omega bad. It's omega level badness. I don't know. This one feels like we're not just behind by 3 points. We're behind by like 3 points and then some. Why would you do that? Maybe you're going to go like this with your queen. Don't have an answer for you. I think you're going to move back no matter. I'd rather you move your queen back than I force your knight back. I think that's the dream play. So let's start pushing this issue a little bit. Like if you do queen to here, we push this pawn forward. You can't go there. You can only go here, get taken. Just hear me out. This is an interesting one. Let's start here. I feel like my rook may genuinely be trapped. I'm hoping that's not the case. There's only one place for us to take it. This is where we're playing from way behind the 8-ball. Let's put it that way. You know what, though? This just became mega strong. I think. As they have trapped the only safe position for that knight. I dare not reply to them yet with a troll face. The knight is still screwed, I think. Like, I still like the take here. I think I do. Where's the knight going to go? Can't go here. Can't go here. There's no place for it. I'm not about to be put into check. I hate that it allows them to develop the rook so easily, but... He said, gracias. I know what that means. Okay. So, I mean, we know what's going here. He's going for the checkmate. Can we threaten something and checkmate? Or, like, can we keep him on his toes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We knew that was coming. There was no way around it. There might be some... Chess.com. How? How do you stop the misclicks? The misclicks are getting out of control. It's not your fault, it's mine. But let's work together to find a solution. I was like, taking the pawn is probably the best move. I need to condition myself. If you want to cancel a move, just like click here. Should be a big button that's like, don't do this. Because we've gotten ourselves back into it. He's up by one pawn instead of a bishop. And this structure is cursed. Mind you, this structure is cursed to a much higher degree. But we have good reinforcement potential. I mean, I would not be surprised, I guess, if he chose to do something like this. Leaves his rook in a pretty nice position. I mean, I see what you're doing here. Putting some pressure on that piece. Can't really blame you. Can't really blame you for that one. Work with me for a moment here, okay? Work with me for a moment. I don't want to let this pawn... Hold on. Yes, we do. Let this go. If you want to trade, let's trade. And we'll begin the dance of the endgame. You're only up by one pawn. Time is of the essence here. No matter what, I'm a little proud of myself. We didn't just resign after falling down by a piece, and we managed to pull the game back into a position where we're in a worse spot, but we've definitely... improved upon our standing. Probably looks a little like this. Because we're trying to basically get that going. It's going to make this pawn crazy weak, but it does allow us to free up all this stuff to get out there. So next we probably want to start... There's a multitudinal different set of ways we could threaten. This pawn is kind of an issue for them. Like, if we can get here, and it'll take a couple of moves to set up, so it may not be worth it. But if we can get here, we can threaten this pawn and this pawn simultaneously. It requires forcing the queen into, you know, a spicier situation for sure. Either way, there's only 40 seconds of time difference between us right now. This is very vulnerable for us. Obviously, we can't take. Am I insane to think that, like, I don't mind? Because we can now move this over. Because they're putting way more pressure on this. I kind of thought that might happen. I'm not sure. I guess it is good for them. Good for her. I wanna take control of this open lane. So why not? This is a time for us to be a man of action, not a man of cowardice. We're going here to threaten the queen. We can force the queen back. If the queen wants to go back, I'm okay with this. Because then we get the, oh, wait, if we take a pawn, they take a pawn. You take a pawn now, I take a pawn now, honey. You take a pawn now, I take a pawn now, boom. Because if we take this, you take that. Do I like that? Is there anything we can do with that? No, because we can't take that afterwards. But you take a pawn and I'll take a pawn now, honey. You know what? I like this. Keep the pressure on here. Put some extra pressure on here. And I mean, it seems like we're going to go to time. I want to stack control right here, though. This is very important. I think as white, one of those two moves is incredible. Don't get me wrong. Like, nothing would make me happier than to defeat someone who hit me with a troll face. After they honestly made a very good move. A move that I can't be superbly disappointed by because they bested me. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. It does create a situation where if we can get a rook there, we're in love because it forces a trade on the queen. Which then actually really opens up the game for us. This is maybe the first time. We'll see how the analysis feels. Move 36. I feel like maybe despite being a pawn down, I'm actually up. And I've just surpassed the time advantage as well. Can't blame you. I think, believe it or not, I like this. Why? 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 It's actually a really good move. Didn't consider that one. Let's see how you want to play this. You want to get nuts? This queen is in a weird spot. It's a weird spot. With a minute 20 left. We're in trouble. I'll admit, wait. This is going to get interesting. I can't believe I didn't even just consider taking it. We don't have to go insanely fast yet. Like, we have such a good threaten of their mate. To mate them, I should say. They're in a time crunch. I think we just checkmated them. So I'm going to go over to the smiley face here. Where's the troll face? Oops. All right. Let that be a lesson to you, Louis Carlo. If you're going to trash talk, make sure you got the goods to back it up. So many people have told me, by the way, you don't love the key moments tab. I think what we're going to do is do key moments, then go back to analysis. Key moments I might have been over-leaning on, okay? So let's look at the report first. We had 4% better accuracy. And I want to see... So, first thing I would look at, I guess, is in analysis. If we go to move 36, D7 is a missed win. B4 is best. Okay. We're still up by 2 points as of that moment, though. That's interesting. Okay, so let's go key moments first. D5 is your last book move. That's not a good sign. When move 1 is your last book move, D6 is a huge blunder. Okay, there's only one good move. Care to retry it? Yes. So D6 was a huge blunder. The only good move I could consider is this, probably. That's an inaccuracy, but it is 4 points better. Maybe this, then? It's a mistake. It's still 4 points better. It's a blunder. Still slightly better, which is saying something. Because the problem, I mean, obviously, is that we want to leave this pawn protected. I guess they wouldn't have taken it anyway. Is it just that? We want to protect the bishop, but we also have to protect the pawn simultaneously. Or we want to keep some pressure on this pawn simultaneously. I'm missing something clear here. That's just, we're getting funky now. That's a blunder, but still better. How bad was my move, dude? You know what? Just, okay, pull me back. Retry hint. It's this pawn. It's just that. And then you would feed your bishop back there later. Okay. All right, so white had a considerable advantage. This is right about the time that he started sending me the troll faces. They're up by 4 points. We have made a mistake here. Let's go back one. This is a mistake. Care to see what you could have done better? Yes. I bet it's this. Nope. It's a blunder. Okay, you know what? Why don't you give me a hint? Oh, okay. Yes, that makes sense. Clearly, I'm not on my game right now. This is a good play, though. The game changer. This is where we finally started to pull back the lead. White pulled us back again. We made a mistake. That was the move you made. What should I have done? This? Yes, okay. Fair enough. That time we saw it. Puts our bishop in a our rook in an extremely great position. Lots of key moments here. This is the missed win. That's the move they were looking for. That's fine. We'll go next. That's a mistake, but the game is still balanced. What would they have preferred here? Probably still this. Yes, okay. Fair enough. Still a good move. G2 is a mistake. White has a significant advantage. Prefer that, maybe? What do you prefer here? So it's pretty balanced. Now white has an advantage again. It's pretty balanced. Now white has an advantage again. We can't do this because we'd be in a discovered check. It's not that. No, that is you lose. The heck? How did we screw up? Probably. No, that's what we did. Okay, that's not so bad. Anyway, I don't know. What's the best move then? It's not all that in a bag of potato chips. Critical move. You found the only good move. That was the moment that scared me. That's the best move. And then we just won from that point onwards. Okay. Going back to analysis really quickly. So take me back to the start. That's okay. So knight to f6 is considered the best or book move there. Everything in the opening is pretty standard, if not book. This was considered a massive blunder. Fair enough. All because I was afraid to push the pawn to h6. That's like, what? He's like, queenside castle. What? Queenside castle? What? Okay, so there's a lot of what's coming out, like all at once here. This was, and we saw this in key moments. Anyway, I mean, you probably, now that we've done key moments, you don't really need to see the analysis so much, I suppose, because you already know what's going on. That was the best move. That was a good move. I'm proud of myself. That was the best move. Huge blunder. Good move. Huge blunder. Questionable move. All right. Anyway, put me in another one. That one took a long time. We'll go play. Changes may not be saved. That's okay. Play online. And, oh, he would like to chat again? No, that's okay. Hold on. I'm going to turn off my screen region. Let me see what it says. There's no message. Okay. Fair enough. That's funny. I was wondering if he was going to say something bad. New 10-minute game. Here we go. All right. 1520. Nanasta from Greece. At some point, we should learn, like, the real openings, you know? Because, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. I don't think you would push me. What if you did? Like, you're not... Misclick. You're not supposed to spend this kind of time on move 3. Let's put it that way. I also don't think that's how you play that, but here we are. Whatever, brother. I love an open game. Pawn structure's a little scuffed, so what? What of it? I do, hear me out, it's a bit wonky. I don't necessarily mind check, bonk, bonk. Because then they can't castle. I mean, maybe it screws up their castling situation. Either way, like, I feel like we're off book, but it's not catastrophic. C4 is kind of, sorry, C5 is kind of an interesting move from them. I have to respond. And I don't know how I would. I guess I would just do the check that I suggested from earlier and then something like that. I don't know. It's not great. But we are sucking up his time, which seems good to me. If you got to root for the positives in life, right? So what are our priorities? See, I had a feeling that might happen there. In which case we do this. So he played that line out in his head, but I'm okay with this. Big priorities. We wish to develop our bishop. And I think that the e-pawn is kind of vulnerable. Although this, you know what, this diagonal is a lot stronger. So let's try to develop the bishop along g2. Gets a very strong diagonal throughout the open center. And I know, like, if you're like a triple-digit, low, quadruple-digit player, you're probably trying to look at something like a, you know, like get a bishop to attack this with the queen simultaneously. It's just a sort of play that doesn't really work at high levels. Not to be rude, but like, I mean, it's not to say it can't work. It's just kind of unlikely that it would come to pass. So we need to, because the next move is bishop to e6. We need to find a way to both protect this pawn and also be able to move our queen afterwards. So I think the easiest way to do that is probably via this. It looks a little, you know, jagged down here, but I think we're okay with that. Gives our bishop some flexibility. This is a protection when they move this bishop so that we don't just move our queen down here, which is fine. Honestly, we really want to move this bishop to here, but we can't quite do it yet. We need to find a place to dump our queen. And I don't have a good spot for it right now. I actually think like the best spot might be here. I would prefer to take black's position here in a heartbeat. Now, what you cannot do is go here, and then they go here, you take, because then you get screwed. So just make sure you're clicking in an area that's not going to misclick you. You can always go here, but then you're kind of... You're stuck. I actually don't mind this. It's a little backwards, like it literally moves us backwards, but we have a real vulnerability. We need to do this. Then probably like, so we would go this. We knew something like this was coming. What if we played it though? What if we did this? You did that. Then we did this. Probably wouldn't take. You put me in check. I think we can play it, and I think it's better that we do. Unless I'm sorely mistaken, I at least don't think this is horrible, but I would reiterate, I would definitely take black's position here. But it's not, it doesn't seem lopsided to me. I could be wrong. Really, our problem, if like... The real issue for me is that they're, like, these bishops roughly equal strength, in my opinion. What do I know, though? The problem is this bishop is doing a lot more than that bishop right there. And then they do get a free response here. We don't have a lot going for us. But it's early. They don't have a ton going for them, either. And the game is somewhat inert. Yes, we had a feeling something like this could come to pass. I think we have to castle immediately. It gives us the added benefit of having some protection on this bishop. I don't know what this move is for. Maybe honestly I don't know. It doesn't make it bad, but I don't really know what it's all about. Let me tell you, I do like this. I think it just gives us a little tempo. We put a threat on the enemy queen. And then we like this. Because it protects this pawn. Like, I definitely don't want to trade. But on the other hand, what if I did? Because presumably, what are you going to take with? You're going to take with the rook. You're not going to take with the queen. Let's start getting out there, dude. Just a strange one right now. It's like the game is so simplified already. It's kind of hard to describe. We need to find a way to generate some leverage for sure. We're in a worse position. I've been toying with this. Like, I wouldn't mind swapping because I think their bishop is just better right now. But we have to do so in a way that doesn't leave d1 vulnerable. It's not vulnerable right now, I was just gonna say, but it could be vulnerable pretty easily in the future. So here's an idea. What if we did take the pawn at b7 with our queen? It would obviously create a situation where they could put me in check. I then move. What do they do after that? They won't take. They might put me in check to swap, but I would be a pawn up at the time. I actually, unless, because, okay, so the other line, and we're in the same position, would be that they do this. At which point, I could swap. Like, I could take, they would take my bishop. We would need to find a way to protect our rook, which would be tough. The question is more if we want to go through with this right now. This bishop sucks. This is a very spicy move. Like, I don't really know how I'd like to play it. I honestly, I think, believe it or not, I think I actually kind of like the swap. Now, here's how I'm going to play it out. I go here. In all likelihood, you take. I take. You put me in check. I go here. What do you do after that? I don't know. Like, it's just, we're trying to put ourselves in like an endgame position, I suppose. Even though we're only 22 moves into the game. I don't think we lose the rook for nothing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think you, I mean, maybe you will. Now, what if I take the pawn at b1? You put me in check. I go here. I don't know what you do after that. But I think this is good. Drag the queen off the map. I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's play it through because this is a good. This is where the game is going to be very simple. We're not going to need much time at the end. We give up the d1 coverage. You know, we give up the coverage here to take this. At which point you almost certainly put me in check. At which point we have one response. At which point, I don't mind the swap because I'm up. Or we bail out of the swap to take another pawn. What if you just... What if you put the threat on us, though? That's the spicy part. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. This is... You don't always get a bunch of chances in every game to push your advantage. I think this is a moment for us to, you know, at some point you gotta, you ever hear the expression, you gotta S or get off the pot? This is our S or get off the pot moment. We either take our advantage now or we play for a draw. So now I would actually say, although my rook is in a very scary position, I prefer my situation to my enemies. Clock notwithstanding. Probably will not surprise you to find that they could come up with something that could defeat me. This is not bad. We have a chance to take a pawn. We could put some pressure on their rook. We could, take this pawn. We can protect our own rook in a variety of different ways. Probably not with the king yet. Not until it gets simple. But this does seem like a game where it's evenly matched enough right now that the development of the king might actually be a defining characteristic. Like when you get into the end game, sometimes a lot of people are under the impression the king is a bad piece in chess. It is for the start of the game. In the end game, a king is actually like insanely valuable, especially if you only have pawns left. And one of the main reasons the king is so good is because it counters the enemy king. Okay, they've resigned, and we have almost gotten to 50. Honestly, I bet that was a misclick. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up for good sport because I bet that was a misclick. But let's look at the analysis real quick. So let's walk it through. Let's not do key moments. Let's wait for the analysis to finish. 79% accuracy, 0 blunders. Very exciting. Okay. So book. Not book, sorry. Okay, so we're off book. That was a real battle, but you earned it. It's a mistake. Why? C5 is an inaccuracy that gives us an advantage. Why? B4, bishop to B4 is best. Okay. What's our best response? Queen back? Okay, if you say so. It is a big difference. It's a pawn's difference, according to the computer. Fair enough. All right, so that was fine. That was very questionable. D5 is an inaccuracy that gives up some advantage. Best move, best move, best move. Best move. Now, that's surprising to me because that felt like a little bit of a lark. E3, oh, I guess actually E3 is better. Best move. Questionable move. Good move. Very questionable move. You know what? That's what I get for making fun of the low triple digits players. Apparently that was good. All right. Good move. Acceptable. 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 Good. Very questionable. All right. So we are still at a 1-pawn disadvantage. Where did it pivot? That was the best move. Good move. Best move. Okay. We've pulled it back to within, a third of a pawn. Best move. Best move. I'm very surprised. Because this felt so static here. D8 is a major mistake. Why? What do they like more? Bishop in front? Let's play that out. So if we had done bishop in front, it's too long to play out. Basically, it's too long to play out. I thought maybe this was like a 1-move swing, but it's not. Okay, so I took, you took. You, at this point, you have almost a piece advantage. Good move, though. Good move. Questionable move. Very questionable move there. It's a mistake. That's a blunder, though. Okay, that erased all of your advantages. See, they should have protected the pawn. That's very fair. We've taken. Now we have an advantage. Check. We still have an advantage. We only had 1 move. That's considered the best move. That was considered the best move. Oh, baby. And we have just over a pawn advantage. And then that was just, honestly, a misclick, so I feel bad. But unless maybe they just assumed that their queen was still covering. But either way, 2 wins in 2 pretty hard-fought battles. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Thanks for the support. See ya!